So let me just, I'm live both on Instagram and YouTube. So let me just try to pin the comments on Instagram. How to deal with anxiety. Hi, parenting and marriage. Thank you for joining. Ami, thank you for joining. Hello, 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 hello. So this is another of my Friday free webinar where I share important topics. And today is going to be on how to deal with anxiety. I mean, you're joining from workplace. Oh dear. Thank you for joining. So, and as always, I also hope that this one will be a 30-minute session, like just 30 minutes and we are done. And I'll try to be as concise as possible because this is a session I'm going to handle from a different perspective. Like, it's not something I'm just coming to teach you, do this, don't do that. So, what I'm going to do is using questions to get you, just using questions to get you to think about the things that you're anxious about. It's going to be as practical as possible. If you can have a pen and paper where you'll be, where you can be answering the questions yourself, so that you can get your transformation as we are having this webinar. Hi, Vivian. I hope the UK code is not dealing with you. Hi, Bisobog. Hello. So let me quickly get started. I know that anxiety is something that is very common. It's something that is really very, very common. At one point or the other in our lives, we experience anxious moments. So, as a disclaimer, this webinar is not to treat the various anxiety disorders like panic disorders, phobias, social anxiety disorders. This one is just to deal with the anxiety that we experience from time to time. All right, we experience those nervousness, those nerve-wracking moments, those moments of uncertainties, those moments where we are dreading the future because we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. All right, so this webinar is going to help you to know what to do or to help you cope with those anxious moments that can even affect your job, that can even make you not to be able to work as you should do. All right, affecting your day-to-day activity because those thoughts can't just leave your head. All right, so at the end of this webinar, I hope we are able to achieve that. And some symptoms of anxiety, you may have experienced yourself getting all this increased heart rate, you may be getting chest pain and palpitations, just awareness that your heart is beating. Okay, you can be getting really worried, restless, uneasy, sweating. There are various ways people can. There are various symptoms people can experience when they are getting those anxiety moments. All right, so let's quickly dive into how to deal with anxiety. And like I mentioned earlier, this is going to be like a question based kind of thing so that as you're thinking about it, as you're thinking about your own personal situation, you're getting the help you need. All right. Not just to tell you, do this, do that, as we usually do in our webinars. So I've written down some things for you that are going to be really, really beneficial for you. So the first thing, before we get to the questions, the first thing I'm going to make you understand is this: when those anxious moments are coming, when those nervous moments are coming, you're going to ask yourself, what is fueling this right now? All right. What is fueling this? Because I know that there are different things that can make one to be really anxious. Okay. However, some of them can be born out of the quest for more. Right? So it's very okay to be ambitious. It's very okay to want more out of life. All right. But then it becomes a problem when it goes from just being ambitious to actual to greed. you know the difference when you're now going from, okay, this is what I want out of my life. I want to make the best grades. I want to work in the best workplace. Like me, I want to work in the best hospitals. I want to get married to the best person. I want to have the best kids, it's okay. But then when it's now fueled out of greed, greed is now when you're now doing things like you want to do everything possible to make that thing happen, whether it's a good way, whether it's through a good means or whether it's through a negative means. You just want to do everything possible to make that thing happen. And then it also comes with, it's usually attached or goes hand in hand with other negative stuff like envy. All right, situations where you're now thinking, oh, okay, because my friend or because a colleague has acquired all these things, I must acquire them by fire by force through any means possible. All right. So by so doing, you've left that zone of contentment and ambition to the zone of greed. So to the zone of greed, and it's now going to make you to worry so much that if you don't make this happen, if you don't have it that way, there's not is going there is as in you have to find some like a different way, whether it's not a legal means. You just have to do anything possible to make it happen. All right, so that's just the first thing I want to establish. Find out what exactly is fueling the anxiety right now. Just be very clear about that. All right, so the second thing for those joining me, I mentioned that this session is going to use questions to help you deal with the anxiety. Like as I'm asking these questions, you're thinking about the anxiety you're experiencing or the anxious moments you're experiencing, and then using them to transform your life or to transform your thinking to help you feel much better and to deal with the anxiety better. So now the second question is, name one positive thing you have achieved for every moment you worried about something. I don't know if you got that question. Name just one positive thing you've achieved for every moment you worried about something. For instance, we are worried about money. We are worried about more money. So when I'm thinking about, oh my God, I don't have enough money as I should have right now, and it's beginning to make me panic because I have bills to pay. So, and then I give into such symptoms, I give into such thoughts, and I continue dwelling on it. I realize that it doesn't actually help me in the positive direction. All right, it doesn't actually help me to, as in it doesn't make the money to appear immediately just by thinking about that thing I'm worried about. So now, when you worry, what happens instead? What thoughts go through your mind? That's the next thing. What thoughts go through your mind? And when you're thinking these things, how does it make you feel? And when and with how it makes you feel, how does it impact your behavior? All right, what I'm trying to make you do now is to be aware of yourself. What exactly is going on? I'm worried about let me use, okay, someone wrote me recently about she's worried about making mistakes in the choice of a life partner. All right, so the question now is, you're worried about making mistakes. So how does such thoughts make you feel? Before that, what exactly are you thinking about? What exactly is the fear? Name it. Is it that you may go into an abusive partner? Is it that you may go into someone that will cheat on you? All right. So name those fears, and then how does such fears make you feel? And then how does it make you behave? All right. So if such fears will now make you feel really anxious, agitated, worried, afraid, so how does it make you behave? It may now make you to be withdrawing from even potential suitors. All right. It may make you to be withdrawing from people because you suspect them based on the anxiety you're having and how it's making you feel. All right. So this is more of making you aware of the impact of those anxious thoughts to your behavior. All right. So this is more of self-awareness at the moment. Now, that will now take me to the next step. All right. And that next step is look around you. Okay, before I go to look around you, look within you. What is working in your life right now? What things? If you have your pen and paper, you can write them down, as many as possible. What things are working in your life right now? What things are you thankful for? You can name them. That you're breathing, or if you're like me working in the hospital, you see people that are coming sick, and then you have the privilege to care for them. That means there is something I'm actually thankful for, and that is the privilege to care for the sick, and I'm not the one that is on the sick bed. All right. So this is now channeling the attention to the things that are actually working for me. And then in that same vein, you also ask yourself, what in that same vein, you'll be like, okay, what did you do to make these things work? Right? So, like me, I'm just using myself as an instance, just to make it really relatable. So, working in the hospital, what did I do specially to make myself to not be on that bed right now? To an extent, when you listen to certain patients, you know that they are going to tell you things like, oh, I don't smoke, I don't drink, I try to live healthy, I try to exercise, I don't know why this happened to me. But to you, you know that you're not doing exactly all the things that should be done when it comes to health, when it comes to healthy living, but yet you're living healthy. So, what things are working? One of them, you're living healthy. What did you do to make it happen? All right. What did you do differently to make this happen? Any miracles? Living healthy is a miracle without so much effort, compared to maybe there are some people that have put in a lot of effort, but they don't have the same experience. So that is a miracle. I just want you, this is now making you to be aware of the things that are working, because it's going to lead us to the next step. All right. And then have you also had situations where there was an unexpected turnaround of events? Like, you were worried about something, but then it's got sorted out, like without you doing much about it. Somehow, with time, it just got sorted out. It was like a miracle. Things turned around for you. I'm sure that in our lifetime, we've had such experiences, even when we think, okay, this is not something we deserved, or this is not something that we actually expected, but they happened. So become aware of these things. Become really intentional. If you have to think, go ahead and think. If you have to just write down, go down the memory lane and think about things that have worked, go ahead and do it. All right, because it's going to help you in the journey of dealing with anxiety. Now, the next thing is, when you had this unexpected turnaround of events, what did you believe in? Was any of them achieved through worrying? Of course not. But what you believed in was, oh, I've experienced a miracle. Oh, I've experienced something great. Something wonderful has happened to me. Oh, I feel bad for worrying so much about this. If I knew that it was going to turn out this way, I wouldn't have worried so much. You understand? So, what did you say to yourself when this happened? What did you think differently when the miracles happened in your life? Now, which brings me to the next question, which is coming down to the thing you're worried about right now. Okay? To the thing you're worried about right now. With the miracles you experienced in the past, what makes you think that what you're worried about won't also be sorted out as a miracle? What makes you think that this situation is different? Now, the question is, the thoughts you're having, is it actually the truth? Is it actually the reality? Or you know that somehow it will also get sorted out, and you'll be like, oh, I wouldn't have wasted my years worrying so much about this. So, if you understand what I just did, I first tried to help you establish all the things that have worked despite the worrying. And now I'm trying to make you apply that same principle to the current situation right now. You're worried about something, and what makes you think that the miracle that happened in the past is not going to happen again? or the way things turned around for the best in all those numerous situations in the past won't happen again this time around. Do you understand? And you already agree as well that none of these worked out just by worrying. They sorted themselves out. But worrying didn't even add an inch. Like it didn't even add anything positive to it. Rather, it drained you instead. It impacted on how you feel. It impacted on your thoughts. It impacted your behavior. So, what I'm just trying to do is to make you see things from a different perspective, because one thing about worrying is that it puts you in a place where you just want to continue worrying, and it's like a vicious cycle. You continue worrying over and over. In fact, when you see something good about to happen, you switch gear to a different situation that will make you even worry more. All right, and you'll agree with me that none of these yield any positive response or any positive results at any point in time. Now, the next thing you're going to do, we've talked about assessing, looking within. Next thing we are going to do is look without, more like experience your environment, experience what's going on around you. Even if you're in your room right now, or you're somewhere right now, you can just take a walk outside. All right, just look around you, just notice the trees and how they produce the fruits and all of that without anybody watering them. Notice the birds, how they are flying around and how they are being fed and how they take care of themselves and they are thriving. Notice the beautiful structures, how people were able to think up beautiful structures and build houses, offices, top tier structures that are really, really beautiful and magnificent. So take notice of all of these things happening around you. So I'm just teaching you now to be mindful, to practice mindfulness, to notice all these beautiful things happening around you, because they have a way of making you appreciate more things that are working even outside your own life. Appreciate the nature, appreciate things that are happening around you, and then help you refocus and also help you to have more clarity of thoughts, all right, on the things that are working, so that the anxious moments can be dealt with. All right, so I've talked about looking within and also looking without. That's looking within you and then looking around you for things to look out for. So the next one, which we're going to talk about, is the next question is, what's something good in your life, or what's something lovely or amazing in your life that brings you peace of mind, that brings you joy? It can be different thing for different people. So, but I'm not going to tell you what it is for you. I know what it is for me. So, what's that beautiful thing in your life that brings you peace, joy, that makes you to be thankful? So whatever it is that you've identified, you can share with me in the comments whatever it is for you. So whatever it is that you've identified in your life that brings you to this place where you are at peace, where you're just joyous, I encourage you, invest in it. It can't be a person. Invest in the person. All right, invest into that person, in the sense that when these moments of anxiety comes up, or this kind of thoughts comes up, there is someone you can speak to, there is someone you can relate with, so that the person can help you bring you to that place of calm, that place of peace, that place of joy, that place where you are not so focused on all the negative things going on, but you're now focusing more on things that are working, and even creating solutions towards addressing the things that are making you anxious. All right, so invest in those kind of things, invest in those kind of people or things that bring you joy, happiness, calm, peace of mind. Invest in them. So the seventh one, okay, we are done now with the question sessions. So these ones are now the do's and the don'ts. One of them is get into active service. get into a situation where where you serve people. It could be volunteering, it could be sharing your knowledge. Let me say I'm having anxiety at the moment, and I've done all the things that I've talked about from number 1 to 6, yeah. And now I'm sharing knowledge with people for free. Do you think I'll still be anxious? Do you think I'll still be really worried about situations? Because just by sharing what I know, or by volunteering and then seeing people being transformed, or seeing people feeling much better about their lives, it will give me this sense, okay, there's something working out there. There's something I'm doing. There's something I'm contributing that is actually working. So that means my own situation can also work. Oh, that thing I'm worried about also can also turn around for my best. And I will also be having clarity of thoughts and also creating solutions in my head to even address the things that are making me really anxious at the moment. So in times like this, serve, serve, serve. Trust me, it really works. When I had my 3 years career gap, one of the things I did was serve. There were moments I was really uncertain about my future. Such situations, aside causing depression, it can make you to be really anxious because it's so uncertain. You don't know what to expect. You want to get back to clinical practice, but you have no idea how to even get started. As in, nothing looks promising at the moment, so it's enough to make you to be really anxious, to be really worried, really sad about things. But once you get to that place of service where you actively serve, you're you're sharing your knowledge, you're sharing your gifts, you're volunteering, it gives you that sense of fulfillment. Okay, you can actually do things irrespective of whatever the future is going to present itself. You can actually do things to help other people. You can actually do things to contribute meaningfully to the lives of others, irrespective of what the future holds. And it has a way of distracting you from those anxious moments, from those oh my god, I can't believe this is happening. The oh god, is this debilitating or debilitating? Hey, I can't believe this is happening right now. But those moments where you're unable to function effectively, I don't know if you get what I mean. So I just had a moment that can make someone to be really anxious, where you're thinking of words to say and you're not exactly sure of what it is. I know what I want to say, but I'm not sure of the pronunciation. But guess what? We move. People make mistakes, and I just did. I won't kill myself. I won't get worried about it. I won't even panic that people will laugh at me. If you laugh, it's even a good thing. At least I made you laugh today. All right. So, and then the final one is, which is number 8. Please be mindful of the words you speak to yourself or to your situation in such moments. You don't want to be the one to confess negatively. See, whether you like it or not, our words carry power. Our words carry power. You hear about people talking about positive affirmations. It works. Researchers have proven that it helps with stress relief, all right, and even anxiety. So you're not sure of what could happen, but then you can speak words so that you believe in what you want to happen. You can speak words that will help you to believe differently. Your mind is trying to tell you to believe in the worst possible outcome, but you're now speaking words that will bring to pass the best possible outcome. And by saying them, your mind is reconfiguring, and rather believing in the things that would work. And by so doing, your brain has a way of making you feel calmer instead of having all those anxious moments. You get? So speak words that uplifts, speak words that transform your situation for the best. Don't speak negative words, just avoid them. Just go and find positive affirmation words that you can use to invest in yourself, whether it's daily, but as or even, let me say, morning, afternoon, night, but as regularly as possible. All right, so that when those thoughts of, oh, I'm not going to I'm not going to have the best husband. Instead of such thoughts, you're now affirming to yourself that I deserve the best of the best because this is who I am. All right, whatever it is that you believe in. All right, so speak positive words. It would help you a lot. That brings me to the end of this webinar. So I'll just do a recap, especially for those that didn't join on time. A recap of, I shared like 8 things. Yeah. So just a quick recap, okay? The first one is life is not measured by how much you own. And that would mean be able to separate ambition, that's being ambitious, from being greedy. Just be able to separate these two. Make sure that what's fueling the things you desire or the things you want is ambition and not greed that comes with envy, jealousy, just because other people have them. All right. And then the second thing I mentioned was I asked you to name one positive thing that you've achieved when during the moments you worried. And then when you name it, I know that you won't be able to name anything. And then you ask yourself, when I'm having these anxious moments, how does it make me feel? Or, first of all, what kind of thoughts go on in my head? And then, how does it make me feel? And then, how does it make me behave? How does it impact on my behavior? And I gave an instance using so like a DM I got earlier about a lady that was really anxious, getting anxiety because she wasn't sure she was going to make the best decision with regards to a spouse. So how does the thoughts you're getting make you feel? It's making you feel anxious, right? Then how does it affect your behavior? It can affect her behavior by making her start suspecting every man out there as, okay, this one might be the thing I actually feared. Before you know it, they are withdrawing from potential suitors. So be aware of how these anxious moments are making you feel and behave, how it's affecting your behavior. And then the fourth thing I talked about was looking within you. What things have worked already? How did they happen? Did you achieve any of them through worrying? Were there any miracles? Were there things that sorted themselves out even without you putting in so much effort? And I gave examples. All right. So if you are aware of things that have worked in the past, even without you doing so much about it, and without and yeah, without you doing so much about it, now relate it to what's going on right now, what's making you feel really anxious. What makes you think that this one won't get sorted out as others? All right. And now what's making you think that? Is it the reality? Is it the truth? Or you just want to continue worrying? All right, which brings me to the fifth one, which is look around you. Become mindful of the things that are beautiful around you, the beautiful trees, the birds, the beautiful structures out there. Practice mindfulness, take walks, exercise with mindfulness. All right, mindfulness means just being aware of what's going on within you and around you per time. So if you're taking a walk on the streets, just be aware of what's going on. It's not a moment to focus on the things that are making you anxious, but it's a moment for you to just embrace the surrounding, embrace the beauty of the environment. It has a way of making you feel calmer about your life and also help you to think better in providing solutions to certain situations. And then the fifth one, I think that, okay, yeah. And then the sixth one is what's something good in your life, or what's, it can be something, it can be someone that is good, that brings out the best in you, that brings you joy, peace, calm in your life. If it's something or someone, invest into them. Okay, invest into them because you're going to need them when those anxious moments come. You need someone that can help you transform you, that's transformed you at those moments, so that you can feel much better, much lighter, and help you distract you from those nerve-wracking moments, so that you can experience peace which you deserve. All right. And then the sixth one was okay, the seventh one, I talked about service. Actively serve, get into service. It will help you a lot. And then the eighth one was affirm positively. positive affirmations regularly because there is power in the tongue. And then finally, there are people that go to smoking and alcohol as a way to manage the anxiety. See, they may help you feel calm in temporarily, but the long-term effect is that they actually worsen anxiety. This is scientifically proven. And as much as you can, please try and sleep. Try and get enough sleep. All right? Try and get enough sleep is really, really important when it comes to dealing with anxiety. I think I'm done with my 30 minutes webinar. It's usually 30 minutes every Friday. I've been consistent for a while. I just hope to continue being consistent. So let me know. Oh, a lot of people joined. Wow. Wow. So let me know, was this session helpful? Was it helpful? Please share with me. Was it helpful? Was it helpful? Did you learn anything? Please let me know in the comments. I would have said questions, but I've already exhausted 30 minutes time. Let me know in the comments. Was this session helpful? I hope to come again on next Friday. For now, I don't even know the topic I'm going to take on, but God willing, I'll show up. Thank you for the likes. Thank you. So let me know, was the comment help? Was the session helpful on how to deal with anxiety? I didn't go through the what did they call it? The conventional approach of do this, don't do that. I just went through this question kind of approach, which we also use in coaching. So if you listen to the replay of this session and sit down and maybe with your pen and paper and write down things as I'm asking the questions, you realize that you've been coached. And it's usually more transformational than someone just telling you, do this, don't do that. That's why coaching brings more transformation. That's why we love coaching. So, all right, guys. Thank you so much for joining me here now. Thank you, Emmy. Thank you. I appreciate you. Good night, everyone. See you again, hopefully next Friday. Bye. How do I end this?